check this out. This is my second book.
In a world where technology reigns supreme and humanity faces its greatest challenges, 13 stories will take you on an unforgettable journey. From the depths of Martian canyons to the heart of Dubai, experience the thrill of high-speed chases, the intrigue of secret lives, and the battle for survival. In quantum races, lessons from the finish line, humanity races towards uncharted horizons. Get ready to rev your engines and explore the unknown. Race through time, discover the truth. Where automotive action meets science fiction. Available now.
So I'm obviously very, very excited because last year I fulfilled a lifelong ambition, and that was to actually publish a book, my own book, and it was a novel. It's the Ulysses Files. You can see the cover up here. And the Ulysses Files was obviously based on all the research and the work and the coverage that I did in 2023 and earlier on the Ulysses expansion, the ultra-low emission zone in London. But to be honest, although it was called the Ulysses Files, it wasn't actually necessarily about Ulysses. It's actually just a fun action thriller with car chases and gadgets and explosions and all of that sort of stuff in it. So think Mission Impossible meets Fast and Furious. That's kind of what that was. So it was a lot of fun to write, and it was very well received. I think it's running at 4.4 score now on Amazon, so it's doing really well. So all of that has kind of encouraged me to pursue other opportunities to write books, and so hence my second book. Now, the second book is also fiction. It's also fiction, but it's different in that it's not one story. So what this actually is actually a compilation of 13 stories that I've written probably over the space of 2 decades, actually. So one or two going as far back as that. I've obviously reworked them, refreshed them, tweaked them, improved them a little bit, updated them a little bit, and compiled them in here. But not all 13 are old, because I've written also a couple of new ones as well. So a couple of brand new, fresh, I think actually there's 3 of them that are brand new, fresh, not seen before, that have also gone into this book. So if there's a theme, the theme is quite broad, if you like, but if there was a theme, you could say that it is automotive action meets science fiction. So I'm obviously a car guy, and I obviously love cars and just the stuff that I know about, and I enjoy writing about them, and that's what Ulysses Files was about. There's lots of cool cars in there as well. So obviously I wanted to write about cars, but I'm also a massive science fiction fan, and you know, as many of you will have seen me wearing a Star Trek badge, I'm a huge Trekkie. So I've always wanted to write science fiction. In fact, to be honest, I always thought my first novel would be science fiction, and it ended up being Ulysses Files. So here's an opportunity for me to sort of unleash the science fiction within me, but also to combine that with my other love, which is automotive. So that's not to say that every story is like that. Some stories are a combination of automotive and science fiction. Some are just automotive, some are just science fiction, and some are actually neither. Some of them actually are more about a study into humanity, you know, into the state of humanity, into where we are. Some of them are actually really relevant, you know.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy. Yo, it's quantum race, tales from the future's face. 13 stories gonna take it to outer space. From Martian canyons deep to Dubai's high rise. Secret lives, AI drives to the man who flies. Pedal to the metal in a 325. Race through time, keeping hope alive. AI takeovers, more lines than blur. Get your engines ready, rev it up for sure. Quantum races, lessons at the finish line. Fast-paced fiction, it'll blow your mind. Tap and turn, more survivals to grind. Get lost in the pages, see what you find. Past predators hunt, tomorrow's man leads. Dystopian dreams where the future feeds. From India to the Middle East, stories collide. Uncharted roads in this epic ride. Jump in the driver's seat, feel the thrill. Spinning through the cosmos, chasing that chill. Words without wheels, secrets to unfold. In quantum races, legends are told. Quantum races, lessons at the finish line. Fast-paced fiction, it'll blow your mind. Tap and turn.
By the way, the cover has changed. So this cover, this is a proof copy that I get from Amazon. So by the way, they are available now on Amazon. The ebook is 99 pence, and I think the print book, this one is 5.99. It's print on demand. So as soon as you order it from Amazon, they print it and they send you a copy. The cover will be different, as you can see from this, because I decided to change it. I thought it was better to change that. So this is the advantage of having a proof copy. Now, the other thing about this is that also every story has its own cover image. So every story gets its own cover image. I got to be honest with you, they are all AI generated. So all the artwork in here, as with the ULIS files, there wasn't any artwork inside the pages of ULIS files. It was just a cover, but also a lot of promotional content that I did around the ULIS files. And that was all AI generated, and this is also AI generated, but it's not bad, you know. But the book, the writing is all me. And I hope that you enjoy it. So what are the 13 stories? Well, you've just had a quick preview, a quick glimpse of some of them there. But like I said, I mean, they look at lots of different themes, and part of the themes that they look at is also, you know, how technology is changing the world for us, and how, you know, our lives will be fundamentally altered and fundamentally changed going forward, you know, by technology and advancements that we have currently. So I do like to crystal ball gaze. I do like to look into the future, excuse me, and see what's coming and how that might impact, you know, us as a human race. I love doing that sort of thing. So some of these stories actually are pretty much that. So what I'll do is I'll just give you a quick précis of the actual stories themselves. Like I said, there's 13 stories. The first story is Stang Struck. And that's a story I wrote a long time ago, actually. And it's about a future that there are no cars. In fact, cars are banned. And then we have the emergence of a renegade road warrior. And I really enjoyed writing it. I really like to imagine how there would be people that had never actually seen or driven an actual real car, and how somebody who's tasked with actually enforcing the prohibition of cars ends up getting seduced by one. So that's what that one is about. The second story is Alien Invasion Target Burj, and it's like, you can imagine, and this is a weird one, but if you imagine Independence Day meets Gulliver's Travels. So it's kind of, it's basically like, you know, there's an alien invasion that's happening in Dubai, but things are not quite where everybody expected. So that's interesting. The third story is called Miracle Reporter, and that's actually, you could probably surmise what it's inspired by, but it imagines a scenario where superheroes never actually reveal their identity at all. We never became aware that there were superheroes in the world, and they just quietly, secretly went about their business of righting wrongs and saving people and stuff like that. Story number 4 is inspired by one of my favorite films, which is Cannonball Run. This is called Camel Ball Run, and it imagines a scenario where, you know, somebody wants to create an illegal street race across the Middle East. So it's quite funny, you know, I really enjoyed doing that, and it's a really interesting one for me because in these pages you will find it as a short story. And it basically just revolves around the concept of the founder coming up with the idea. But it is something that I have written a lot of other stuff related to that story. And it's something that I could quite easily turn into a standalone novel. So I'd love to get your feedback on that one, and to see if you think that I should expand that and turn that into an actual standalone one. Story number 5 is also one that's inspired by pop culture, by movies and stuff like that. I've called it Raj Hunter, and when I tell you that it's the unknown that hunts the British Empire in India, and when I tell you that it's an alien hunter, then you can probably guess what that's inspired by. But I thought it was really interesting to imagine that scenario, and see what would happen and what people would think of this kind of alien incursion that was out there killing and skinning people. Enough said. Number 6 is Alien Resurrection. And Alien Resurrection is about a guy that wakes up naked, no memory, no nothing. He's in a strange environment, and eventually he realizes that he's on some kind of a spaceship or something. So, but he doesn't know what's going on. So he doesn't know if he's been abducted, if the aliens have taken over, if they are, harvesting him, or what is happening. So it's kind of like, that's what that is. So, I mean, a lot of these are different takes on existing ideas, if you like. Number 7 is, I think, going to be one of the more controversial ones, but also very relevant and very pertinent to everything that's happening right now, particularly right now, as I record this here in the UK. It's called The Secret Lives of Muslims. And, it's a look, it's pulling down the purdah, if you like, to see what actually goes on behind the scenes, if you think, if some people think of it that way, in the minds of Muslims, but it also envisages what might happen to Muslims in the future. So it's also quite a personal story. I think that I actually found it. I mean, there's fun elements in it, and there's disturbing elements in it, but I suppose I found it quite disturbing to write at the time. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you make of that one. Story number 8 is Flight of the Redbird, and that imagines an intergalactic bounty hunter that finds his target bizarrely on Earth, and this person happens to be the world's most celebrated, successful, winning racing driver. But there's more to him than meets the eye. So that's quite an interesting scenario, so I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Number 9 is another one that's actually, again, it's not science fiction, it's not automotive related, it's entirely looking at the human state of condition, and that is called OK Nassal, and it's basically about an immigrant, and it's about the mental struggles and the mental anxiety of somebody that has abandoned what actually turns out to be quite a good life because they think the grass is greener elsewhere, and they find that it isn't. They find that it's not what they thought it was going to be. So it's just an examination of how that emotionally and psychologically can impact somebody. Number 10 is the Marineris Hotel, and that's kind of like The Martian meets The Shining, sort of. And it's about a visionary entrepreneur that builds a holiday resort on Mars. But the weight of his ambition is something that he's really struggling with. And I guess this is another one that actually looks at mental health and mental condition and mental anxiety. So that could be quite interesting, but also with a dose of sci-fi in it. Number 11, The Day They Came for Our Cars. And I guess this one is interesting although it's number 11 in the sequence, but it's almost like the interim story between today and between Stangstruck. So Stangstruck, as I said, envisages a future where there are no cars. They've all been consigned to museums. They've all been put away. The Day They Came for Our Cars is like the stepping stone to that. It's like, what happened between here and there? How did we get to that point? So that kind of what covers that. It's quite a personal one as well. So yeah, that should be interesting. Number 12 is called Preemptive Strike. And it's about, if a species becomes aware that they're about to be attacked by an alien species, or they could potentially be attacked by an alien species, and they feel that they have the ability to strike first, but it could potentially mean the annihilation, genocide of this other species. Would we do it? Would they do it? That's what that's an examination of. And number 13, again, is very relevant to our times. Number 13 is Awakening, AI. So it's AI Awakening, Awakening. And it very much talks about, where things are going at the moment. And I actually did a bit of research on that using AI. So I had AI, I asked ChatGPT, for example, to look at 2 scenarios, projecting forward, projecting into the future, the impact that artificial intelligence and robots and all of these things would have on humanity. And so I asked it to look at best case scenario and worst case scenario. Best case scenario where we end up with a utopia where, you know, all our needs are served, there's an abundance of everything, and we work alongside with AI and with robots to better the world and to better ourselves. Very much a Star Trek kind of vision, actually. And that's what it came up with. And then the worst case scenario was truly bad. Honestly, it was truly gruesome, and it really doesn't bode well, if I'm absolutely honest. I mean, that's probably the one that I describe in more detail in the story, so I'll leave you to go and read it. But the interesting thing was that when I asked ChatGPT to go, okay, well, these are the two scenarios based on everything that we know currently, based on the progression and the progress that we are involved in currently and the trajectories of where we are going. Which of these two scenarios is currently the most likely to happen in reality? And the answer was overwhelmingly the dystopian negative society. That was the future that we were facing if we continued as we were doing stuff right now. Whew. Oh, okay. So I don't want to end this on a depressing note. That is the last story in the book, but the thing is, it's not good. It's not good, and that's AI. That's even just a normal AI telling me that. So you can imagine like what advanced levels of AI are thinking about already. So the AI doom scenarios are not entirely as imaginary as we may conceive, but however, the point is, and which is illustrated in that story, is that there is an avenue of hope. There is an avenue to get to a better future alongside AI and robots, because ultimately technology is stuff that we've created to help us. That's the point of it. And so there's no reason why we can't actually manipulate and control and harness that to actually create better futures for ourselves. The trouble is that can we let go of our own hang-ups and egos and corruption in order to be able to do that? And I guess that's the question that story asks in this book. Anyway, there you go. That's my new book. Those are the 13 stories. They're all in there. They're all waiting for you to be read, to read them, and to let me know what you think. And they're available now. This is not as thick, so I think it's probably about half the length of my previous book. So it's very digestible, very quick to dip in and out of them. Pick the stories you'd like to read, and I really hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you let me know what you think of it, primarily by leaving reviews on Amazon, because that's really important. The rating on Amazon is very important. The reviews on Amazon are very, very important. And if you do like it, I might do more. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear what you think of this one.
Yo, it's Max Fernhut in the place to be. Murdering journalists fighting for the city's free. Eleanor Rodriguez got my back in the mix. Secrets of the steel, she's breaking all the tricks. Fox Jackson's on the scene, tech genius supreme. Ahmedabad with the cars, living out the dream. Villains on the rise, trying to take control. Khalid Siddiqui, Victoria Hartfield playing dirty roles. From the heart of London to the outer zones, fighting for the freedom, breaking all the bones. The ULS files, it's the story of our time. Riding through the city, gonna take back what's mine. Oh, what's mine? Victoria Hartfield, the face of the sea. Matthias Du Bois, making schemes on the street. Max and the crew, we ain't gonna back down. Revving up the engines, tearing through the town. Protests in the square, voices loud and clear. From Trafalgar to the hills, we're fighting out of fear. Secrets in the shadows, truth's gonna light. In this urban jungle, we prepare for the fight. From the heart of London to the outer zones, fighting for the freedom, breaking all the bones. The ULS files, it's the story of our time. Riding through the city, gonna take back what's mine. Oh, what's mine? Tune in, let the story unfold. The Newer found, it's a tale to be told. Max Turner, Eleanor, the team so strong in the fight for freedom. We keep rolling on.
Check this out, guys. It's my book, it's my first novel, and it's written for car fans like you. It's a fun political action thriller. It's full of cool cars and spectacular action. Get your copy now at Amazon.com.